In 1994, archaeologists crawled 30 meters underground into a cave in northern Spain and found a pit. Inside that pit were the remains of at least 28 individuals piled together in the dark. They named it Cima de los Huesos, the pit of bones. Among those remains was a single skull. Skull 17, young, healthy, strong, no disease, no predator marks, just 2 wounds on the forehead. Same location, same angle, same depth. 1 wound is an accident. 2 identical wounds in the same spot is not. In forensic science, this pattern has one explanation. Someone struck this individual twice with deliberate lethal intent. This happened 430,000 years ago, before our species existed, and it was almost certainly the first murder in human history. By the end of this video, you will understand something that most people never consider. The capacity for deliberate killing did not begin with modern humans. It predates us entirely, and the most uncomfortable part is not that it happened. It is what the skull tells us about the mind that planned it. Because the same cognitive leap that made murder possible also made conscience possible. They arrived at the same time, in the same creature. Stay with me. The site is Atapuerca in northern Spain. To reach the pit, you descend through narrow passages barely wide enough for a human body. 28 individuals were found there, all belonging to Homo heidelbergensis, a pre-human species that existed hundreds of thousands of years before us. They made tools, they hunted, they lived in organized groups, and one of them committed what every forensic test available confirms was deliberate lethal violence against one of their own. Here is how scientists know it was murder. Both wounds are perimortem, meaning they happened at the moment of death. Both enter at the same trajectory. Both show identical fracture patterns in the surrounding bone. The statistical probability of 2 accidental impacts producing identical wounds in the same location at the same angle is effectively 0. The wounds match a pointed implement thrust with significant force. Someone struck this individual, and then struck them again in the same place. The second blow is the confession. This was intent. Stop thinking about the skull and think about the person. Young, between 20 and 30 years old, healthy bones, strong muscle attachment points, no signs of disease or malnutrition. This individual was not weak or dying. They were at the peak of their capability when someone decided they should not continue living. 430,000 years separate us from that moment. The weight of it does not shrink with distance. A young person, alive, and then not. In a group of 50 people, everyone knows everyone. The killer almost certainly knew the victim personally, had eaten beside them, slept near them, hunted with them. And after the killing, the killer almost certainly continued living within that same group because there was nowhere else to go. This was not a stranger in the dark. This was someone familiar. Someone who picked up a weapon, struck once, and then struck again. The first murder happened inside a community. It always does. The body did not end up in the pit by accident. The pit is 30 meters underground, reachable only through narrow passages requiring deliberate navigation. Someone moved this individual from wherever they died to that specific location deep underground. That was a decision. A conscious, deliberate choice about what to do with the body. The first murder in human history may also have produced the first cover-up. The first time a community had to decide together what to do about violence within their own ranks. To commit premeditated murder, you need to form an intention and hold it over time. To see another person not as a present threat, but as a future problem. To plan a solution, to carry it through despite whatever bond existed between you and the person you are about to kill. These are not simple cognitive tasks. This skull pushes the timeline of complex abstract thinking back by hundreds of thousands of years. The mind that planned this killing was more sophisticated than we believed, and that sophistication cuts both ways. A mind capable of planning a killing is also capable of knowing what it has done. Skull 17 is not alone. Across the global archaeological record, there are other ancient skulls with perimortem impact wounds, human bones with cut marks made by stone tools, evidence of violence going back hundreds of thousands of years on multiple continents. Atapuerca is the clearest single piece of evidence because the double blow is forensically unambiguous, but it is not an anomaly. Wherever archaeologists look carefully at ancient human remains, they find evidence that our ancestors were capable of serious harm to each other. This is not something humans invented. It is something we inherited from before we were human. Every person alive today is descended from individuals who survived ancient violence. Your ancestors were not the ones in the pit. They were the ones who kept going. The capacity for deliberate violence did not evolve out of us. It is still present in the same species that built hospitals and wrote music that makes strangers cry. The question has never been whether humans are capable of this. We know they are. The question is what we choose to do with the fact that we are. Someone killed this individual 430,000 years ago. Then someone moved the body, and the community continued. They hunted the next morning, ate together, kept living as a group despite what had happened inside the group. The same species that produced the first murder also produced every act of protection and sacrifice in the entire history of our kind. Violence and conscience did not arrive separately. They arrived together in the same creature at the same moment. The darkness that struck that skull twice is present in every human alive today. And so is everything that has ever been chosen instead of it. So here is what I want to know. Do you think what happened in that pit tells us something true and permanent about what humans are? Or do you think we have genuinely changed from the creature that stood over that skull and struck twice? Drop your honest answer in the comments right now. I read every single one. If this changed how you see something you thought you already understood, hit the like button. And if you want more of this, the real history, the evidence they do not put in textbooks because it is too strange or too close to home, subscribe. Every week, we take one question that sounds simple and pull it apart until the answer changes how you see yourself. See you next week.